Hello and welcome to Rant, author advice in 5 minutes or less because I have to get back to writing and so do you. So this week I want to talk a little bit about hiding your research. As authors we always do, or should do, a fair amount of research not only on our topic but our settings and other things that really help bring realism to our novels. The trick is that there's a lot of details from that research that you don't really need to put into the book. So, for instance, like, let's say you do a character sheet on your main character, and you say, hey, well, here's all their background, here's all of their history, and all of those things are great for you as the writer to say, hey, I know who this character is inside and out, so I can write as them. That does not give you full reign to essentially say, oh, hey, I have all this information, the reader must need to know this information, and so I'm going to dump all of this information on the reader. No. You gotta hide your research, you gotta hide some of your sources, and so, it's all these details, like I was talking about a couple weeks ago, where, do you really need those details? And so let's say, for example, and this is something I saw in a book, and this is kind of what brought on this topic, is the writer said, alright, this character is in Kansas City, Kansas, or Missouri, I guess, doesn't matter. Anyways, they're in Kansas City, and they drove to Dallas, Texas, essentially in one straight shot. So if you look on Google Maps, and you type in Kansas City to Dallas, it says it takes about 7 hours and 55 minutes, right? So it's almost, let's round up, let's say it's exactly 8 hours. And so the author pretty much said, 8 hours later, here's this. And so I want to, say, hey, let's take this step further, right? Let's not just say, hey, we did the research, I know accurately that, yes, it takes 8 hours to get from Kansas City to Dallas. What I'd rather see as a reader is, okay, let's say the person started driving, in the morning, and so by the time 8 hours pass, it could be getting late afternoon, maybe into evening, and so how you show your reader that passage of time, because do they really need to know it takes exactly 8 hours to get from Kansas City to Dallas? No, but they need to know that the time has passed. And so you can use either, hey, the sun's about to set, or those kind of visual triggers to say, hey, time has passed, they've been driving all day, they drove straight through, those kind of things. It's just, instead of just kind of copying and pasting right into the book, people don't want to read your research notes, they want to read the story, they want to read about the characters. And so if the detail of the research is important, sure, make it important to the character or the plot, so that way the reader will actually care about it, because otherwise it's just seen as kind of extraneous data, or just like, okay, this is kind of exposition dump. We don't need all that information. It's if it's vital to, hey, this character can't survive unless they know the specific coordinates of something or whatever. Yeah, I kind of work it in naturally. But when it kind of looks like, hey, you're just copying out of like a Wikipedia article, yeah, reader's going to pick up on that real quick. So another example of that is I was beta reading a book, and they mentioned some film, and so one of the characters was like, well, I don't know what that film is. And one of the characters next to them said, oh, well, it's this film from like 1973 with like Gene Hackman and these like 3 other actors. And I'm like, okay, most people know who Gene Hackman is, sorry. But they don't really know who these other actors are. It's like, yeah, they're important to that movie, but it's like, just cut it off at Gene Hackman. Like, you don't need to copy and paste from, hey, here's kind of the 2-sentence synopsis from Wikipedia. Like, yeah, you don't want to do that, because then suddenly it's like, okay, that's not how people talk, right? It's essentially, you want to provide information in a natural manner that kind of, your plot asks for it, right? So, what do you think? What do you think about research, you authors out there? How much do you do? How much do you infuse it in? How much do you just drop it in? Let's talk about it. Let's have a discussion in the comments below. And if there's anything else out there that you readers notice about people putting in research into books, I know sometimes there are certain famous authors that they put all of their research into their book, but they make it look natural. What do you think about this? Drop a comment below about anything else that might be bothering you about writing today, and we'll probably cover it in a future episode. So thanks for watching this episode of Write or Rant. I'm Benjamin M. Weilert.